It's Kato Crow, your DFW Plant Whisperer, bringing you all some gardening tips. I've gardened in Iowa, Minnesota, Colorado, Arkansas, Texas, and the one thing they all have in common is I always use container gardening. Today, let's talk about container gardens. One of the great things about planting in containers is that you can have a lot of variety in a small amount of space. In the urban environment, many times we have patios or balconies and we don't have room to put in a whole garden. When deciding to plant in containers, you want to choose like plants that have the same watering needs, the same sun or shade needs, and that'll fit in a pot together. For instance, you're not going to put a cactus in with the tropical. I like to choose something tall to go in the middle, something low to trail over the edge, and something medium to be a filler. We call that a thriller, a spiller, and a filler. The neat thing about it is we also use that in landscape. They say tall, medium, low, heaven, man, earth. That same idea can work in your pots. So that we put something tall in the middle, trail something over the edge, and then fill it up with some color in between. Ivy is wonderful because it spills out, looks great in a pot, and stays green 12 months out of the year. Violas bloom a good 6 or 7 months and come in all kinds of colors. So just a brief idea of a thriller, a spiller, and a filler. A thriller, a spiller, and a filler. Well, how's that for a thriller? This is the California upright elephant ear bulb. These things perennialize in north central Texas and are beautiful in the landscape. Summer and fall is their best time of year, and you can plant them. They come in usually around the caladium time, about February or so. A thriller, a spiller, and a filler. Beautiful in a container. I offer horticultural house calls for your home and your business. Today I'm at my favorite Italian restaurant in Dallas, Momo Italian Kitchen. It's been around since 1986. The food is fresh and fantastic. We had a challenge because we have a patio that we wanted to create some privacy for some more tables, but weren't allowed to put up a fence. Our solution was containers of many shapes and sizes, using evergreens, ferns, and fresh herbs. We had a few challenges on the outdoor patio because we wanted to create a little vignette for tables, but we needed a barrier. We chose quite large 3-foot pots, even larger evergreen shrubs. These boxwoods will peak out about 4 or 6 foot tall and stay green 12 months out of the year. We had a space in between the pots, so we put in smaller pots of ferns to give it a nice look. The other challenge was part of the pots were in full sun and part of the pots were in part shade. So what we chose were lower barriers on this side that get hot afternoon sun, and we decided to make fresh, complete herb gardens. They look good, they smell good, and they taste great. Texas sage has that beautiful silvery foliage. It's very drought resistant, so I like to use it in pots and in the ground. I've used this on the 12th story of a condo and it works great. If you get hot afternoon sun, a reflection from a window or brick, this is a great plant that can take the heat. People say to think outside the box, but I think outside the pot. Here's some ideas I've had about stacking some pots, smaller to larger. Fill one with soil about halfway and keep stacking more and more on top, and you get this stair-step effect. The other thing that'll happen is you wind up with a broken pot. Don't throw it away. Put some smaller pots inside of it and add a little bit of flair. Even an unusual shaped pot can be lots of fun. This is 2 I found that were stuck together and I couldn't get them apart. I put in a hen and chicks and called it good. If you're not sure what to do with your pots, give me a call or check out my website, DFWPlantWhisperer.com. I'll come to your home, to your condo, to your apartment, and we'll figure out what we could do with your pots and containers to make them look great. An important thing to remember about your containers is that they have a drain hole at the bottom. Sometimes they sell planters that don't have a drain hole, and it's to set pots inside of there. So make sure you have a drain hole because drainage is important. The reason they call the Dead Sea is because water comes in and it can't come out. We don't want that to happen, or your water can get kind of rotten at the bottom of the pot. So after you make sure you have good drainage, put your pots inside of there. Then if you wonder how to water, we use the 2-knuckle test. If you stick your finger down in the pot, about 2 inches, that's about 2 knuckles, or you can use a pencil. You want it to come up clean. If it's muddy, leave it alone. If you're not sure, wait a day. When you're finished with your containers, the last thing I like to do is top dress with a little bit of mulch. If you use shredded hardwood or cedar, it locks into place. The good thing about that is it helps retain your moisture and gives a clean finish look, so you're not just looking at soil. For some of my specialty pots, I use glass mulch. They've got some new colors out there that look great, and it's a great way to finish a pot. These have been some tips from your DFW Plant Whisperer. Happy gardening! Yes, my gloves match my shoes. The only thing that separates us from the animals is our ability to accessorize.